All right, here we go. So it's been a while since we did a top five list. I was trying to find the last time we did a top five list, and I was having trouble finding it. So for the past, I don't know, however many weeks we've been talking about it, we've been leaning pretty heavy into planning. We've been leaning pretty heavy into some heavy lifting, right? Um, really challenging yourself, challenging your notions and your programs to try and do better. I want to start by saying this. If you read Keith Robinson, then you're already going to know what I'm about to tell you. But you know, about halfway through the year, I said, guys, I think things are going to get a little bit better finally. I know I keep saying that, but there's actually activity across the board going up. That has continued. Pendings has gone up and they've stayed up in our primary areas. I've been very, very bullish about 2026, and that's one of the reasons that I've been leaning so heavy into you about doing things, doing your planning, doing things like Growth Lab, doing things like taking a hard look at how you spend your time and scheduling it, because I truly believe that there's a massive amount of opportunity coming in 2026 that we haven't seen in probably 2.5, 3 years. Keith Robinson put out an article this morning. If you watch the stock market at all or listen to financial news, and you lean heavily into that, you're probably at some level of panic. They're really starting to toss around the word bubble, particularly when it comes to AI. The markets have taken a pretty good hit for the past couple of days. I don't know where we are right now. Let me take a look. Uh, yeah, they're all down. Okay, so they're all down again. I think that'll be day three. I don't know the percentage of losses because I'm not going to open it up. I'll get depressed. Um, but one of the other things that they're starting to float around is the word recession. Okay, and they've been floating it around for a while, but it's starting to get real serious now because of some of the things that are going on in the market. What Keith wrote about and what I've always firmly believed in. There are exceptions, but generally speaking, given our situation in real estate, a little bit of pain in the market is probably really good for us. Okay, probably really good for us. So, as much as the market drives the economy and it has an impact on the mood. I can't come up with the word, the mood of the public in general and the home buyer. Uh, if there was a recession, it would be good for us. Damian, why? Well, if you know anything about recessions or any of that, how does the government, for lack of a better term, how does the government combat a recession? What do they do? Like set your watch by it. What do they do? What did they do when the pandemic came and created this massive sell-off in business, and everybody's worried about the Great Depression Part Two? What the government do?
Cheap money.
Hmm. Drop the rate. Sure. And that's what they'll do again, right? If all of the other, and I don't want to dive too deep into this, but if all of the other economic indicators start to go poorly, right? Start to go poorly, and we start to flirt with, you know, being in an actual recession, a hard recession, a real recession, then what will happen is the rate will come down, the rates will come down, the prime rate will come down, other rates will follow, right? To try and stimulate activity, economic activity. We're the biggest beneficiary of that, right? So one of our biggest problems over the past couple of years is that when mortgage rates got as low as they did 2020, 2021, everybody that owned a home did what?
Refied.
They refied, right? And they got some kind of killer rate. Steve, did you refi during that time?
No, I wasn't able to, unfortunately.
Wasn't able to. Okay. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that they refied, and let's take averages, and let's say that they're sitting around, 3.5%. Okay. 30-year mortgage, 3.5%. One of our biggest issues with inventory over the past couple of years is that as the rates went up, people's mindset was, well, wait a minute, I don't want to sell my house that I have a 3.5% mortgage on and go buy another house and pay 7. I don't want to do that, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to stay right here, right? A good hard adjustment to mortgage rates kind of solves that problem, right? And it also kind of solves the buyer side problem where affordability is an issue or mentally I don't like the number 6 or whatever, right? So I think, and I'm not an expert, but I think over the next few days and heading to the holiday, you're going to hear more bad news on the daily about the stock market. I really do think that. Okay. I really do think that. Not to mention that all things aside of anything really nasty in the stock market, it's the end of the year, which means it's profit taking time. So you've got intrinsic sell-offs working right now anyways, right? So I think you're going to hear bad things. I think it might get a little bit scary. I guess if I have a message to give to you around all of this, it's that if you hear scary stuff on the news about the stock market, or you hear scary stuff on the news about recession, and you hear all those scary, scary things, I can tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to grin. Like, bring it, right? Please bring it. I can't believe I'm saying this on the internet, but I am. Please bring it. I will take it. I will take some serious economic pressure if that's what it takes to get the Fed to get moving. And I could be wrong, but people that are way smarter than me tend to agree. All right. Any questions about that or thoughts on that or fears that we need to temper on that before we move into the fun part of the meeting, which is the top 5? Nope. Nope. Good. Okay. So what we're going to talk about today is my list of top 5 mindset checks. Okay. Why is that important? Okay. In my brain, everything starts with mindset, right? And I'm not talking about surface level, oh, you got to be positive. Oh, you got to be what did they call that thing back in the 90s? Um, the book came out and everybody was like, if you visualize yourself getting a winning lottery ticket, it'll happen because of the power of attraction or something like that. Or if you visualize, whatever. Well, I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. What I'm talking about is to some extent, what we believe is self-fulfilling. Okay. What we believe is self-fulfilling. If we believe that we cannot do something, for example, you're absolutely right. You can't, right? You absolutely can't. Doesn't matter if it's business, doesn't matter if it's your personal life, doesn't matter if it's a sport. If you believe it's too hard, I can't do it, you're right. You're not going to do it. Okay? On the other hand, just because you believe you can do it and have this great attitude and you visualize it doesn't mean that it's going to happen, right? I don't care how much I visualize and believe, and I am never going to dunk a basketball. All right? Not going to happen. I mean, I'm old now. My vertical's like 4.5 inches, right? Like that's all I got. That's all the hops I got. Okay. I am not going to dunk a basketball. But at least if I have the right mindset around it, like I am Michael Jordan, I'm going to dunk the basketball. At least I got a shot. That's what we're talking about. Okay. What you believe is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, for simpler things, it works much better. For example, if I believe and I have the mindset and I have the attitude that I can make 50 phone calls in a day, I mean, I got a solid shot at that. I really do, right? Or let's go pure real estate with it. If I truly believe and do the work that goes along with it and stay in the positive mind space and have all the right thinking, and I want to sell 10 units next year, I got a pretty good shot at that. If I, on the other hand, say, well, I don't know about the economy and I hear we might have a recession, I don't know, 10 units might be a stretch. It might be hard. It will be. I'm never going to make it. Okay. So frame it like that. Frame it like that. I'm not promising you that the right mindset is going to make you rich. Okay. But I am promising you that the wrong mindset is going to make you broke. Okay. It's guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed. Jessica on here yet? Not yet. Okay. She's going to be like, yeah, right. Okay. You're sitting here talking about all these positive mindsets. I hear you. Um, the other thing going into that, this stuff is not easy, right? It's not easy for anybody. It's not easy for me. It's really easy to go the wrong direction, and it's really easy to look at negative, especially when there's a lot of it. Okay? This is one of the reasons we're talking about this. So, circling back, along with all of the hard work and analysis you're doing, along with the goal setting that you're doing, along with the planning that you're doing, and the calendaring, and the looking at the top 50 best habits and going, oh my God, and looking at your CRM and seeing that it's all jacked up, along with all of that, we're going to talk about this because once again, it all starts with this, and I'll prove it, right? I'll prove it. Let's say that your CRM is jacked. You got 1,000 names in there. The contact information's all jacked up. You've got some weird app tied to it. It's not working, right? Michael's laughing. Don't tie any apps to your CRM. Just don't do it. Like all this stuff's going on, right? And you're sitting there and you go, "Oh my God, I'm never going to get this fixed. Oh, it's a mess. I'm never going to get it fixed. I can't figure it out. Whatever. Like it's not getting done, right? It's not getting done." But if you come at it from a different angle and say, like, you know what, 5 names. I want 5 names today. I want 5 names tomorrow. I'm going to work 5 names at a time. I'm going to clean it up come hell or high water. I can do 5 names. It might take a while, but you're going to get there. Right? So let's talk about the biggest one. Everything in life in my brain, everything in life in my brain, happiness, positivity, the opposite of that revolves around, this is the most important one, revolves around whether or not you believe that there is opportunity. Okay? Think about that. If you wake up in the morning and you get out of bed and you think to yourself, the world is my oyster. Everything I need is here. And all I got to do is go out and get it. Okay? There's so much opportunity for me in this world. How can I lose? Versus waking up and thinking to yourself or saying to yourself out loud, there's just nothing out there for me. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter how hard I work. It doesn't matter how hard I try. There's just nothing there for me. How long are you going to keep your sanity? How long are you going to keep your mental health? How long are you going to avoid frustration in the best case scenario, depression in the worst case scenario with attitude number B? How long do you think you can make it above board if you're thinking that? Not long, right? Not long. So what we're talking about for the top five or number one mindset check is working with a mindset of abundance versus working with a mindset of scarcity in all things, right? It's tied directly to your view of opportunity. Okay? I'm not perfect, but when I get up in the morning, what I like to do, or what I like to think is there's a ton of stuff going on out there. Even though there's less stuff going on out there than there was 5 years, there's a ton of stuff going on out there. There's a ton of opportunities still going on out there. I just don't have it. I don't have any of it yet, or I don't have as much of it as I want yet, but it's there. So all I got to do is chase it. Am I going to be successful 100% of the time? No. All right. But if I work hard, if I work my system, if I bear down and chase it, some of it's going to come my way. Right? Some of it's going to come my way. But at least I got a shot. Right? And I'm happier. I'm turbocharged. I have energy. I'm ready to go. I feel hope. Right? I want to do some tasks because I'm chasing a benefit. I'm chasing opportunity. Admit, if I get up in the morning and my thought is, well, this economy sucks. There's nothing, I don't even know why I bother trying. This economy sucks. There's nothing here for me. Am I going to go grind? Am I going to go work? What's the point? Right? The truth is there's always opportunities out there, even in the worst of economies, worst of situations. They just might not be your opportunities. And I steal that from Keith Robinson, and it's still the best one ever. There's stuff happening, it just ain't happening with you. Okay, what am I going to do about that? You can't really say that with the amount of sales that we have in our primary market areas and the amount of listings that we have in our primary market areas, you can't really say that there's not an abundance, right? It's just how much of an abundance. Okay? Is it the same abundance that we had 5 years ago? No, clearly not. Is it still an abundance compared to nothing? Yeah, it is. All right. If you want to really know about scarcity in Sacramento, you have to go all the way back to 1993. Okay. That was scarcity. That's not where we are. So you choose a mindset of abundance over a mindset of scarcity. You realize that there's opportunity for you, but you have to go out and chase it. That puts your mindset in the right place to grind, to work hard, to feel positive, to feel like you got a shot, right? That's number one. And oh yes, by the way, I've got this all written out and I'm gonna put it in your O1 new agent docs with the rest of the top fives for you to read. So don't worry about taking notes, just participate. Number two, Michael's favorite, my favorite. Discipline versus motivation. Okay? As far as the mindset's concerned. We beat this one to death, so I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it at length. Motivation is a joke. Okay? Motivation is a fancy term that some really, really smart dude a long time ago figured out that he could sell tickets to seminars to try and keep you motivated all the time. All right? Well, he made the $1 million. You didn't. Okay? There is no possible way that we can be motivated often enough to be great at anything, whether that's work, whether that's home, whether that's hobbies or interests or a sport or anything else. You don't have enough motivation in you to sustain that. Okay? It doesn't exist. If the only way for you to ever climb above the average line in anything, home, work, sport, hobby, to get above the average line, the only way to do that is discipline. Okay? Because discipline is the ability to do things that need to be done to be successful at the frequency that's required. Okay? What I mean by that is, I'm just going to use phone calls because that just it's stuck in my brain. It's great if you make 10 calls a day, every day, right? Damian, the coach dude says if I want to be successful, I have to make 10 calls a day every day, right? Some days you want to make them, some days you won't want to make them. Discipline makes sure that you make them every day, regardless of whether you feel like it, want to do it, any of that. That's discipline. Motivation is, yeah, I'm going to make my 10 calls on Monday. I'm fired up. It's a new week. Tuesday, I'm a little tired. I'm going to take a break. Wednesday, you do 5. Thursday, you're back on break. Friday, you try and make up for it and you only do 12. That's motivation, right? Did you make your 10 calls a day? Yeah, on Monday. Okay? Doesn't work. The ability to do the things that need to be done to be successful at the frequency that's required, discipline, right? Motivation, no. I mean, I don't have a number. I don't track this one. I track a lot of things, but I don't track this one. I feel like I'm motivated maybe 30% of the time, right? My definition of motivation, which is, yeah, let's do this, that maybe 30% of the time, maybe less. Okay. What's uh what 30% of 12? 12 times 0.3? 4? Is it 4, Michael? On Marine Lips? 4? Okay, that's the difference between 12 units and 4 units. Okay. Discipline is 12 units. Motivation is 4 units. Choose one. All right. Number three. Number three is gratitude versus dissatisfaction. You guys should see that word, those two words typed up on the same line. Those are two giant words with lots of letters. Gratitude versus dissatisfaction. Look, it is really easy right now to become dissatisfied. It is easier now in my brain than it has ever been. All right. Let's talk about the stuff that you're flooded with all the time. Let's talk about modern marketing tactics. Okay. Every bit of marketing that you consume on television or in social media or on the internet or anywhere, every single bit of it is to convince you that you're dissatisfied with your current product of whatever they're selling, or that your life sucks because you don't have the current product that they're selling. Okay, that's number one. Number two, social media, right? I don't care how good you are. If you spend a lot of time scrolling, at some point in time, you are going to compare what you've got going on with what pops up on your screen. Okay. And even when I tell you, and you know already consciously, that's not real, it does something to you, right? Oh man, how come they're like on the beach wearing beachwear with like big necklaces and stuff, and I'm not? How come they're in a Learjet and I'm not? How come they got a brand new car and I'm not? How come they are a top producer and I'm not? How come they're closed another one and I'm not? Right? Think about the news. Who gets featured on the news now? There's two kinds of people that get featured on the news. Okay? You ever pay attention to this? Criminals and the ultra wealthy. Okay? Those are the people that you get to hear about. Criminals and the ultra wealthy. All right? I don't know about you, but I am not ultra wealthy. Right? So you're being flooded with it. Now, let's make it harder, or let's make it more complicated. It's hard out there right now. Right? You're working hard, you're not having the same result. It's really difficult. Is there any wonder why so many people get dissatisfied? Is there any wonder why our gross domestic product is now consumer spending?
No. You forgot Christmas. You left out Christmas.
Don't forget Christmas. Absolutely.
It's not only
Absolutely.
what you want, but everybody that you know and that you like, they
Yeah.
also want something too, and then you have to
Yeah.
buy it for them.
Yeah. And if you don't show up with a Lexus with a big red bow on it for your significant other, you're just not living the same life. You're just not living the same life. Okay? Consumer spending is the United States of America's gross domestic product, folks. I mean, we don't make steel, we don't produce oil, we spend money. That's how our economy works. So there's no wondering why it is so easy to get into dissatisfaction. There's no wonder at all. Okay? Let's talk about reality. I had dinner with a client last night that we had a great conversation about this. It was a lot of fun. But let's talk about reality. As far as I know, everybody on this call, I'm reading the list, everybody on this call, you have a place to live. You're eating, right? There's a heater, there's an air conditioner. Okay. You have a job. Some of you have two. All right. You may not be rolling in the dough. You may not be just, making it rain, but you're doing all right. And you're doing all right in the roughest economy that I've ever seen for real estate people. Okay. You probably got people that care about you. You probably care about people, right? You're out clothes. Yeah, none of you are walking around without shoes. Okay. Nobody's going to the coat handout thing, the big truck where you go get the coat because you don't have a coat. Nobody's doing that. Okay. Damian, yeah, but I got bills and they suck. I know. Okay. But you're paying them or you're not. But everything's all right. Okay. And don't forget you got a ton of opportunity. Everything's all right. All right. But I want to do better. Of course you do. That's your attitude. That's why you're doing this job. Okay? That's what drew us all to this industry. We want to do better. We want to make more money. We want to add to the gross domestic product and buy shit. Okay? We want to do that. It's okay, but don't confuse the fact that you want to do better with my life sucks and I'm dissatisfied. Just because you want to do better and you want more doesn't mean that your current situation sucks. It just means that you want to go farther. You want to do better. So you got to approach all this. You got to approach all this with an attitude of gratitude versus an attitude of dissatisfaction. If you walk around with an attitude of dissatisfaction and you're unhappy and you're pissed off and you think you're not getting yours and you're wondering why they have this and they have that, you're screwed. You're not going anywhere. Okay? Nobody's going to want to deal with you, right? Nobody's going to want to work with you. You're going to make poor decisions that probably aren't ethical, trying to get yours, all right? And it's going to go badly. Try to focus on all the things that you do got going on with you. Plus, be grateful for the opportunity that exists out there that we talked about at the top and get back to work. Those of you that post on social media, post and ghost. Get the hell out of there. Right? Check the comments every couple hours, respond to them, get out of there. Right? Stop scrolling. Don't do it. All right, number 4. This is called growth versus comfort. Okay? Growth versus comfort. Now I'm going to qualify. Growth means different things to different people. All right? Everybody's path, everybody's situation is not the same. Okay? Everybody's got something different going on. But regardless of where you are in your life or your career, you can choose to keep growing. That doesn't necessarily mean growing in real estate, right? You could be growing your vocabulary because you read a lot of books. You could be growing your historical knowledge by watching podcasts or, again, reading books. or documentaries or whatever. You'd be growing your skill set in a hobby or a sport. Okay. I hope that you choose to grow in real estate, but whether or not you choose to grow in real estate, you can still adopt an attitude of growth, of constant growth. You're going to be more fulfilled, more positive things are going to happen to you, and you're going to get better at whatever thing you're choosing to focus on. Comfort, I don't even know why somebody would choose that, to be honest. Like just sitting there, being the same, being comfortable, never growing in anything, never learning more. I picture just this like blob on a couch slowly molding into the fabric of the couch until there's nothing left, right? Like, but it's out there. It's a huge, huge problem. Look around. You'll see it. It won't take long. But you've got to, especially if you're having tough days, especially if you're getting beat up a lot, especially if you've got to choose to maintain that mindset of growth. I mean, there's many, many times, and sometimes I do it. I'm not perfect. There's many, many times I just want to melt into the couch and like leave me alone. Okay. I'm a couch potato, right? But it doesn't last long. Okay. It doesn't last long because I want to get better at everything that I do. I want to grow. It's just my personality. It's a choice that I make. And it makes me feel a lot more fulfilled and it makes me a lot happier. It's also very frustrating at times. Okay. Here's the last one. And this is the one that you can play with every single day. This one's called won't versus can't. Okay. And it's an exercise. Now, again, there are obvious exceptions. I am never going to dunk a basketball. Okay. Obvious exceptions. But every time you speak or every time you think and you say, I can't do something, I want you to stop, right? Create a neural response that makes you stop. And then say the same sentence again and replace the word can't with won't. I'll give you an example that I have on the page. I can't run 5 miles. Okay? Now, let's replay it. I won't run 5 miles. I'm going to say it again, and you guys think of your response to me. I won't run 5 miles. Michael mouthed it. Okay? A normal response to that, including the response to yourself, is, well, why not? Huh. I don't know why not. Let me think about it. Maybe I don't want to. Okay? Maybe I don't want to. Maybe I'm out of shape. Maybe I'm tired. But do you see what's happening here? What I'm really doing is I'm trying to figure out how to run 5 miles or what's preventing me from running 5 miles. The same is true of everything that you say can't to. As soon as you change can't to won't, you start questioning yourself. Like, well, why not? Well, why can't I do that? I can't sell 15 units. You're right. I won't sell 15 units. Well, why the hell not? Why wouldn't you do that? Huh, let me think about it. Okay. Maybe I don't believe in myself enough. Maybe I don't think I have the skills to do it. Okay, there's a solution for that, right? Go take some classes. Have some one-on-one time with Damian. Start making more phone calls. Start spending more time on your sphere. What do you got to do? Right? I can't get a listing. Yeah, I know. I won't get a listing. Why the hell wouldn't you want a listing? Right? It starts to rewire you into, instead of a dismissive attitude, it starts to rewire you into a solution-based attitude. It does something to your brain. right? All of a sudden now you're challenging yourself like, well, why won't you do it? What is wrong with you? Okay? What lies on the other side of why not is creativity, planning, and a possible solution to whatever you previously, just 30 seconds ago, thought was impossible or out of reach. Most of the time, you're going to find it's not impossible, it's just hard, right? It's just hard. I won't dunk a basketball. Why not? Because I'm 5'8" tall and can't jump. Okay, that one's impossible. All right. I won't break par on the golf course. Why not? Well, because I don't play enough. Okay, what's the solution? Big difference. Maybe you're up for the challenge that comes up. Maybe you're not. Right? Like I said at the top, I won't run 5 miles. Why not? Because I don't want to. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Either way is okay. If you're up for the challenge, great. If you're not up for the challenge, great. But at least you gave yourself the chance to figure out whether or not you were and what your motivation for saying can't or won't was. You can clarify that in your brain and you can move on, right? Won't leaves possibility on the table rather than making it a complete non-starter. This one's hard, guys. You have to think, okay, from now on, whether I'm thinking or whether I'm talking, if I say I can't verbally or if I say I can't mentally, I've got to stop and say the exact same sentence with won't instead of can't and see how that hits. Okay? See how that hits. And then you can tell yourself the truth. I won't run 5 miles. How come? Don't want to. Okay, good. I won't run 5 miles. Why not? Because I'm fat. Well, all right. Now we can talk about it. We can talk about solutions for that. All right. That's it. Questions, thoughts, ads, challenge me, anything. It's 46. I'm going to get you out of here so you can watch football unless you got something else. Anyone? 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 Okay. I'm clicking the button. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday, Brendan, that's not here.